Hi everybody! I'm Chris Robinera, licensed marriage and family therapist and behavioral health specialist at Sure Health. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. As we are currently in the coronavirus pandemic, we not only need to stay healthy with our physical health, we need to also focus on our mental and emotional health. People are feeling stress, frustration, anger, anxiety, as well as sorrow and sadness. We are all in this together. Everyone is experiencing a loss in one way or another. The world is flipped, turned upside down. And I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there, and I'll tell you about grief and loss. Many of us are feeling different types of grief. Most people identify grief with death, but it can follow any type of loss. There are a lot of issues that we are grieving right now. In addition to job and family loss, some of us are feeling the loss of physical connection. This could be seeing Grandmama, who lives at the assisted living facility. There is the loss of tradition, like going to church. Raise your hand if you celebrated Mass on a live stream. There is also the loss for those people that did not get to participate in graduation or commencement. There is also a loss for those that were planning a big event that got canceled, like a wedding, 18th or 21st birthday party. Then there is the loss of a daily routine that causes a feeling of uneasiness and tension. We are grieving the loss of many things. Before I go any further, I want to say that loss and grief is a natural part of life. We can't avoid it. It just is. People are resilient though. For most people, once the crisis has passed, they will bounce right back and move on with their lives. Now, all those emotions that you are feeling, put that into words. It can be helpful to name it. We can rotate between many feelings like sadness, happiness, fear, anger, denial, panic, and acceptance. Since we've been able to name our grief and loss and emotions, what can we do about it? Well, we work through them. It's healthy to express and experience your feelings. Do not push away your feelings. They are telling you something. If you don't deal with your emotions now, you will definitely deal with them later. There was a researcher named Kubler-Ross who discussed the theory of the 5 stages of grief, Dabba. That stands for denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Denial is not just the river in Egypt. Denial is when you're in a state of shock because the world as you knew it no longer exists. Anger happens when you come to see the situation for what has occurred. Anger might present itself as, "Why me? Life isn't fair!" Bargaining happens when a person negotiates with themselves or a higher power as a way to try to avoid grief. Depression is when you realize the true magnitude of the loss. Acceptance is simply coming to terms with the fact that your loss is a permanent reality. Just a note, you don't necessarily go from denial to anger to bargaining and so forth. You can actually bounce around from one stage to another. You can go from denial to depression to anger to bargaining, back to anger. Here is an example of how Dabba can play out during the pandemic. Denial. This coronavirus won't affect me. I tell you what, I'm gonna be fine. Anger. Why are you making me stay at home? I want to be on my boat fishing. I'm going to be fine. I ain't catching the coronavirus. Bargaining. Okay, fine. if I just social distance for the next 2 weeks, everything is going to go back to normal. Depression. I'm not sure if this is ever going to end. When is life gonna get back to normal? This stinks. Acceptance. Hey, it is what it is. We all need to stay healthy. If that means I have to stay home longer or wear a mask, I'm glad I could do my part to limit the spread of the coronavirus. Now, for those of you that are feeling overwhelmed with grief, keep on working. Many are feeling the same way. I have some pro tips for you. 1. Practice self-care. Take an active role in protecting your well-being and happiness. As I've said in other videos, create and use your self-care toolkits. My go-tos include journaling and health and fitness for them gains. Practice gratitude. Do yoga with Adrian on the YouTubes. Do activities that make you feel happy. 2. Give yourself time to feel your feelings. Be like Drake, all in my feelings. Grief is personal and everyone experiences it differently. There is no right or wrong way to feel after a loss. The grieving process takes time, especially when your normal daily routine has been disrupted. Also, it's important not to engage in a comparison of losses. Each person has their own unique experience. 3. Reach out to family and friends and stay connected. No one should have to experience grief alone. Support through video chat. 4. Find support from a professional if you feel you are struggling with feelings of grief and loss. Talking to a mental health professional can be helpful. Many counselors are offering online therapy. If at any time you are feeling unsafe, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. There is also the crisis text line. Text HOME to 741-741 to connect with a trained crisis counselor. In summary, the coronavirus pandemic is not only a physical health crisis, but also a psychological crisis. As a society, we are dealing with losses on different levels. This is a communal experience. There are losses like jobs, family members, traditions, experiences, and our daily routine. We all are grieving and in this together. Grief is a process and takes time. Use your self-care toolkit and coping skills to feel your emotions and work through your experience. You will continue to adjust and grow. You got this.